All right. What's up, bro? Ooh. Yeah, I would love to go basket weaving with you, but as it stands, I'm an adult and I need to pump out some renos on the house today. So, unfortunately, it's a no from me, dog.
You know, for me, dog.
All right. Catch you next time. Bye. That would have been fun. All right. Today, we're here to talk about a bunch of different editing cuts. These cuts will be essential to really engage viewers and really enhance the story that we're trying to tell. Hey, I'm Jed. Thanks for stopping by the video. If you're new here, I'd appreciate it if you hit the sub button, ding the bell, and gave it a big fat thumbs up. We can help keep growing this channel. So in that opening sequence there, I did use the cuts that we're actually going to be talking about today. So let's go through them, tick them off one by one. First up is the standard hard cut. This is the most used cut of all time. Unless you're in the 70s and 80s, because that was a pretty interesting era, full of star wipes and crossfades. Anyway, if you get two clips and you stick them right next to each other, you've got a hard cut. Next up, let's talk about jump cuts. This scene of me walking in was actually a jump cut scene, as was this one from a previous video. Go on, go say hi to Rosie. Dog hair all over me. Basically, it's taking a longer clip, trimming that down into lots of multiple little clips, and then trimming the front and end of all of those little clips again to make one shorter full clip that has jumps from cut to cut to cut. This allows that clip to be short enough to engage a viewer, but also still show them what's happening over a longer period of time. Jump cuts serve a similar purpose to a time lapse, just on a lesser scale of time. Next up are match cuts. If you've done match cuts before, you know that these can be some of the funnest ones to do. They can be used comically like this, or to transition from scene to a scene. Let's say you're shooting tennis and you've got two clips. The last frame of your first clip has a tennis ball right in the middle, and your first frame of your second clip has a tennis ball right in the middle. If you play that through, it should look like the ball just carries over from clip 1 to clip 2. If they're not quite in the same spot, a way you can put them in the same spot, take the second clip, drag it just above the first clip so those frames just overlap. Then go up, drop the opacity down, change the scale and move it around until they're in the same spot. And then you should have a fairly similar match cut. Match cuts can also match motion. The way I like to use it, I like to use parallaxing quite a bit. So I watch the background of my shot, and if one's moving this way, I want the next clip to also be moving that way. You don't want your B-roll to be going background moving like this and then coming back like that and then back like that. It's just a little bit distracting, and when you have the background continuously going in the same direction, it just looks a little bit more polished. So a match cut is just matching something from clip 1 into clip 2. Now let's talk about audio, because that's very important for our cuts as well. The J cut, I just did one right there. This is where the audio from clip 2 enters our scene before the visuals that match that clip. This helps the viewer's mind predict what's about to happen. It's great for on-screen conversations, or just leading the viewer's mind and prompting what's about to happen. The J-cut is also really good for transitioning location, changing our whole scenery. So right now, as we're talking, if we hear some waves come in, some birds chirping, maybe some seagulls, you might be prompted to think we're about to go to some B-roll of the beach. Next up, we're talking about the L cut, and that was actually one right there. The L cut is the reverse of J cut. This is where the audio from the first clip leads over into the second clip. This is really good for conversational pieces or just to lead into a new scene in general.
This is a tasty burger. Vincent, you ever had a Big Kahuna burger?
So if I was to start telling you that snowboarding is one of my favorite pastimes, my favorite hobbies, and before I finished talking, there was a whole bunch of supporting overlay that came over the top of this clip, that would technically be an L cut. But lucky for us, I don't have any footage of me snowboarding because I don't enjoy it.
I was always inclined to make history, but I never really had the time.
That was falling with style.
Just kidding, it's my favorite thing to do. These next two kind of carry over from that previous example, and they're also very similar, so I'm going to combine the two of them. And that's montage and overlays. A montage is a bunch of clips stuck together that normally help us transition from place to place or moment to moment in a story. You can also blend this with a bit of a jump cut as well. It might be going for a run, getting your socks, putting them on, tying your shoes, starting to run. It could be a boxer in a movie getting ready for his main fight, and instead of showing the whole progression and taking 20 minutes, they just have a quick montage. He meets his trainer, they're in the gym boxing, he's losing, and then next thing, he's boxing, he's beating the other guys. Oh, he's victorious, now he's ready to go to his big fight. Similarly, a cutaway really just shows us supporting footage of what our character's talking about or our character's thinking about. This can be done in montage form or just simple supporting B-roll over the top. One thing to note, B-roll is not just that 120 frames slow motion. B-roll is anything that is not your A-roll. A-roll is right now, my main shot talking to camera. Anything else that's over the top of this is B-roll. It's supporting footage. For instance, if I was to tell you that in 2015, my friend Sharon and I went to work at a camp in California, which was followed by me doing a surf trip with 3 big time legends, where we met a very interesting lady in San Diego. Then I traveled around doing my thing for a while, caught up with some homies, traveled some more, lived in San Diego, went to New Zealand to snowboard, then back to San Diego, then up to Canada to meet up with Jimmy to snowboard, came home for a week, surprised my mum, but mainly to go to some weddings. Then I went back to Canada, but this time I wasn't alone. Rosie was with me. We snowboarded some more, she broke her wrist, and bought this fully sick, pimped out jacket. Then we traveled, we worked, we traveled, we worked, we traveled, but mainly we had fun and we traveled some more. Then we got home and that was that. That would be an example of a cutaway, footage that supports what's been told to us on screen verbally. These next two are pretty important for higher paced scenes. Cutting on action. To cut on action is to find a movement in the first clip and match that movement in the second clip as we transition. One example would be if you had the phone ringing and you would go to pick it up. As the phone got picked up by the hand, the next shot would be it lifted up to the ear. Probably the most common place you'll see a cut on action used will be in a fist fight.
Are we going to stand around here all day? Or are we going to fight?
You're going to have 2 clips, 2 characters. As the first character who is throwing the punch, he throws on impact. As that impact happens, you're going to cut that clip at the end. Now the second clip is probably going to be from a different angle, probably over the shoulder of the person who's getting hit, so you don't have to see the fake punch. As that impact happens, on impact, you're going to start the clip there and trail off to whatever you want to do after that. So by transitioning those clips on the impact, you're going to have a nice cut on action, and you can throw a nice little sound effect on there as well, a little something like that. This last one's a little bit of a bonus. It's pretty simple, it doesn't need too much explaining. It's just matching your cuts to the beat of the song. Here's a quick little example. Actually, one last one, as it's technically still a hard cut. You've all seen it, it's the whip pan. We got 2 clips, one that ends with the camera moving in one direction, and the second clip starts with the camera moving in that same direction. We're going to use a slower shutter speed, so we're getting lots of nice natural motion blur that helps seamlessly blend those 2 clips together. Here's an example. I'm sure if you watch Jesse Driftwood or Daniel Schiffer, you know all about them. Today, we've talked about lots of different types of transitions, and that leads me to today's music suggestion, which is Transitions by Wither Away. This is from the EP, The Words We Live By, The Actions We Don't Take. Definitely go check it out. It's got some heavy, it's got some nice clean. I dig it. Alright, we made it. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. If you found this helpful, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd really like to know that these help some people. Otherwise, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, give it a big fat thumbs up, because that really helps this channel grow and really pushes this video to more and more people. It's free to do, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, my name's Jed. This week, I'm shooting people shooting. Taking photos and videos of people hunting. I made a meal out of that. Anyway, thanks so much for sticking around. Hopefully I might be able to take you along for a bit of the ride. See you next week. Ta-ta! Bye! So I recorded about the first third of this, and then the neighbour decides Sunday is a great day to mow the lawns and trim the edges. Not for me, it's not. If you're a one-man band like me and you want to pretend that you're on a phone call, what you need to do, call yourself before it automatically hangs up on yourself. Screenshot the call screen. That's just a screenshot. Then, when you got your phone to your ear, it looks like we're on the phone. Otherwise, if you're not on the phone and it just looks like that, well, we can tell it's just fake. However, that looks a lot more believable. You just can't see the who you're on the phone to and the counting down timer. No one's gonna notice that anyway. Alright, I'm out. Bye. Give it a big fat thumbs up. Bye. I would love to go basket weaving with you right now, but as it stands, I had my voice just break. Woohoo!